So coming to the first principle of OOPS is object. What is an object? In general cases, object is a variable of a class is known as object. Otherwise, it is a thing with properties and actions. Okay, what is a thing here? Generally, suppose we will take an example of one car. Okay, so car is a thing. Okay, what are the properties for that car? Car color, car size, okay, and some car weight, etc. These are the properties of a car. So what is a car here? Car is a thing. This thing has some properties. Those properties are color, height, weight, or something, etc. Okay, and brand is also a one of the property here. And actions, why we are using that car? Okay, for driving purpose. Okay, car is used for a driving purpose. That is the one of the action, one of the task which performed by a thing, car. So this is called an object here. And otherwise, suppose take the second example, example 2. Human being is a thing. For example, here we call it as human being is a thing. So what are the properties of a human being? Okay, his color, height, weight, and some other features. Okay, so all are called as a properties of human being. Okay, with those properties, what actions will perform by human being? From morning onwards, okay, he will perform many tasks. Maybe he can read or he can write, or he will do some what driving or something, or he may go for a cooking. So like that, a human being can perform many actions per a day. So those all actions and the properties of human being, okay, okay, all are called here an object. Clear? So object is a real time thing with some properties and with actions. And if you will take go for another example, if you take cat, okay, cat is one real time thing. So what are the properties for cat? Okay, you know already the color of a cat, the size of a cat, okay, and some other features of a cat are called the properties of that particular cat. And with the actions, what the cat will perform? Okay, it will give some sounds, and it will go for some thefting of milk or something. So like that, those are some actions which is performed by a cat. Okay, so that is called a object here. Coming to the next property of a OOPS, it is a class. Class is another principle of OOPS. What is a class here? It's a blueprint for creating an object. What it is? It is a blueprint for creating an object. Before going to create an object, what class requires? Okay, so like suppose like this, our thing or object may be like this or maybe like this. Okay, it will give some name to that particular object, which means, for example, um, one assume one student is a class. Okay, so student has, what are the properties and actions? Student may have some properties and actions. Those properties and actions will be, okay, defined under a student class. Okay, that is a class here. And coming to the another definition, A class is a way of binding the data and associated methods in a single unit. Okay, data and associated method. Student have which kind of data here? Student role name, student roll number, student age, and other some student marks, okay, etc. All are called a data of a student. Okay, and along with that data, so that student has some methods. What are those methods? What the student perform in a college or school? He may read, okay, he can read, he can write something, or he can play in college. So like that, different methods are there for a students. So these two will be defined under a student class. Okay, here the student class have the data of a student and the actions of a student. Data is student name, roll number, and some other age or date of birth, okay, or address. All are coming under a data or properties of a student. And next, associated methods are the actions which is performed by a student. Okay, student perform reading, writing, playing, drawing, or he may do any kind of works in a college. No? So related to that, all works are called the methods or actions. So these two, which means data and methods, okay, we will pack under a class, single class. Right? So this is the class here, and these are the definitions now. In the next, whenever we'll see the program, there once again we will explain what is a class, what are the objects. And even though here objects are called the variables, what is a variable? Actually, it's a property of particular thing is called a variable. In general cases, compared to a C, compared to a C, so already you know what is a variable. Variable, it's hold the value. It holds a value. So that is called a variable in C. So objects also here variables and variables of a particular thing with actions. So those are called the objects here. So those variables are represented, those variables and also actions will be represented under a class, under a specific name. Okay, is called a class here. Is it clear? Right. Coming to third one, data abstraction. Data abstraction. Abstraction means showing essential features and hiding non-essential features of the user. Okay, so it will show the useful features of something by hiding the unuseful features. So that kind of mechanism or nature is called a data abstraction. So for example, okay, nowadays we are using WhatsApp, right? So all of you know how to use WhatsApp. Clear? So how to send a message and how to read the message and how to make phone call and how to make video call and how to put status, everything. You know the usage of a WhatsApp, but you don't know who developed by the WhatsApp. Okay, when it is developed and which softwares are used to develop a WhatsApp software, WhatsApp app. So like that, you don't know the other features of a WhatsApp. You know only few features. So that concept is called a data abstraction. Clear? What is this? If you will install WhatsApp app, in that WhatsApp app, you know how to use the WhatsApp. Okay, So what are the features in that WhatsApp and how to use that? What are the functions and how to use that? But you don't know, okay, who developed the WhatsApp and which coding they had used for that WhatsApp and how much cost they spent to develop this app, okay, and etc. Some other unnecessary things we don't know, okay. Like that, in Java also, while implementing a coding, while writing something, okay, while implementation, it will show only essential details, okay, by hiding the, okay, unessential, non-essential details of that programming language or of that particular app. That concept is called a data abstraction. Clear? Next, coming to the fourth one is a encapsulation. What it is? Fourth one is encapsulation. So encapsulation means which binds the data and code or writing operations and methods in a single unit. So encapsulation means binding total data and methods under a class for providing the security. Right? Already we have discussed in previous classes what it is. In Java, class is used to provide a security. Okay, what we have discussed in previous classes. Okay, to provide a security in Java, here we are using the classes. So by using a class, we can store our variables and methods into that class. Then unauthorized persons, okay, can't access that class without the permission of that class. So because of this, we can provide the security to a data members and methods of a Java. So that is already discussed in previous sessions, right? So encapsulation is also same. Okay, for example, look here. Here the class definition and almost encapsulation definition both are same. A class is a way of binding the data and associated methods in a single unit. Okay, here encapsulation means which binds the data, okay, and code or writing operations in the sense methods, okay, in a single unit. See, both definitions are same. Okay, to provide the encapsulation, which means security to our Java program, we are creating the classes. By creating a class, we are storing the objects and properties, object properties and methods into that particular class. Okay, so this is the encapsulation concept. Coming to the next property, that is inheritance. So what is inheritance here? Inheritance is the process of taking the features from one class to another class, which means if we write one program in Java, okay, if we'll write one program in Java, suppose if we and you are going to write another program, second program in Java, if we want some what methods and functions of first program also, you can take from that first program. Okay, first of all, you should write one program in Java. After finishing of that, we are going to write another program in Java. While writing a second program, if you need some object or some methods of a first program also, you can access or you can inherit the methods or data of a particular program. So that concept is called a inheritance. So coming to the another example, if we will go for second example in encapsulation, uh, suppose in a family, in a family, so childrens may use the properties of a father or mother. Okay, they'll inherit the properties of a father and mother. They will use that properties, which means, so father has a car. Assume in a family there is a father, he has a car. So after some time, after a few days or after learning, that son learned car, he asked the father and take the car from him, and he used that car. Okay, which means car is a property of a father, but the son is also used that car. Okay, so this concept is called a inheritance. So one person acquired or take the properties of another person. So that is called a inheritance. The first one is called parent class. The second one is called the child class. Okay, parent will give the properties to their childrens. So children is derived the properties or some features from a parents. So in inheritance, we have two classes. First one is a parent class and second one is a child class. So child derived the properties of a parents. Clear? So that is the one of the example for inheritance. So one class may inherit the properties of another class. So the first class is called a base class. Second class is called a, okay, first class is called a parent class. Second class is called a children class. Like that also we can develop a Java programs. So this is the one of the concept of a OOPS. Coming to the last concept, that is polymorphism. So actually polymorphism is a Greek word. Okay, what is it is? Polymorphism is a Greek word. Poly in the sense P-O-L-Y, poly in the sense many. Morphic. So here we can split this word into two words. First word is P-O-L-Y, poly. Poly in the sense many, and morphic is called forms, different forms, many forms or many actions. Okay. So what is the concept of this polymorphism is an operation can exhibit different behavior at different instances. So that is called polymorphism. Okay. For example, if you take a human being, okay, that human being acts or perform different roles in different places, isn't it? Okay, how we can perform different actions in different places? Okay, for example, if I if you'll take one student, okay, that student is a child for their parents. Okay, he can perform, he can perform son action, or otherwise what are the duties of a child or son in that particular parents, he'll perform that actions, okay, at the place, at in their home. If he'll come out, okay, he will perform different role with their friends, if he has a friends, and with their friends he will perform, he used to play cricket, or he used to watch movies, or otherwise he will do some different actions. So what is his role there? Friend role. At the parents, what is his role? Child role. And coming to that same person to the college, what is his role there? Student. Okay, what he will do in college? Okay, he will attend for the classes, and make note for each and every class. Some at the end of the semester he should write examinations and he'll get the results. So there his role is different, right? So one person may act different roles based on a, okay, different areas. So this concept, look at here. So an operation can exhibit different behavior at different instances. So this concept is called a polymorphism. So what is a polymorphism? One object plays different roles based on a different situations. Clear? That is a, this is about completely principles of OOPS. I think, hope you understand the principles of OOPS. Yeah. I want to show you a sample program in a simple Java program. Okay. For explaining just what is a class. For explaining what is a class. Okay. So in this simple Java program, we have class, class name. See here, it's a class is a keyword. Class is a keyword. What is the class name here? EX. EX is a class name. Within this class name, we can define, okay. So here, we only two statements. One is public static void main, second one is system dot out dot println. Actually, this system dot out dot println is used to print the statements whatever you have written within the double quotations. What is the purpose of system dot out dot println here? It is used to print the statements, okay, which will be written within a double quotation. It will act as a printf statement in C language. Okay, how it will work? It will work like printf statement in a C language. So whatever you have written within the double quotations of printf, it will print in output statement as it is. Like this. So here also, what we have written within these double quotations, this is a simple Java program. This is a simple Java program. If you will execute this total program and you will get the output this one. Clear? So if here whatever we have discussed in our definition, objects, which means data members or otherwise properties of objects, and methods should be written here. Okay, this is open curly braces and this is close curly braces. Assume, okay, in between these open and close curly braces you can define the objects here, which means variables here, right? So what are those variable? Instead of EX, assume class. Class name is a student. Class. What is class name here? Student. So what are the student properties here? Already we have discussed. The properties of students are defined here. So what are those? Student. Okay. What are the roll number of a student? Name of a student and some age of a student. Okay. Date of birth of a student. Those are all variables. Name. Name is a string type of data. Roll number. Okay. Suppose 577. It is also a roll number is a number. And after that, date of birth. Date of birth is also a number. Assume that. Age means in the sense 19 years. 19 years is also a one of the variable. So here we can define the all the variables of a class. Not only the variables, what are the methods of that students? Okay, so reading, writing, playing, or there is some drawing, or some conducting or giving some seminar. So like that, each and every action should be written here itself. So within these two curly braces only we can write everything. So this is one class. Why we are writing here? Why are we writing like this means to provide a security to our variables and methods. Why are we writing like this? To provide a security to our data. Those are variables and members of the student class. The total data will be secured whenever we will define like this. So this is a class. Okay, if you want to compare this class with structure in C language, I think you have learned about structures. So if you'll see this one, it will look like almost a structure. So instead of class, here you can write the keyword of structure and structure name. Within that structure and structure name, within open bracket and close bracket, you can write the members. So objects and some methods. If you want to access those objects and methods, you can outside of the structure, in main program, you can declare reference variable. Okay, so there also we are providing security to the structure members. Here also by using a class, we are providing security to our, okay, to our members. So that is the class. Clear? And in next class, before going to write a simple programs in Java, first of all, we would learn how to install a Java into our systems. After that, okay, uh, how to set a class path. Next, if time is there, writing of simple program and execution of simple program. In next class, I will explain all of those. Okay, clear?